Hello everyone, this is Glenda Winkleman and welcome back to Creative Grandma. I have a new pattern for you today. This is pattern number 530 and it's called the Granny Square Notepad Holder. So this is what I call a craft show favorite. It's just a nice little pattern that you can make these up quite a few in a jiffy, and you can have them hanging in all kinds of bright colors. Now for this project you only need one full skein of the cotton yarn, the 2.1 ounce skeins, and then you can use all your scraps from all those dishcloths that you make, because it doesn't take very much yarn for the flower. So for this pattern here, it consists of 2 granny squares. We make the little popcorn flower, and then I put a ribbon flower that matched the color here, and then I put the notepad and added an ink pen, and you just hang it up. So that's the first sample, the pink and the purple. My second sample I made using yellow. This is another solid color, but what I did was I used the same color for the center as I did the outside, where this one I used 2 different colors that were completely different than this color. So this one I just used the leftover yellow, used the inside for my popcorn, and then I added a little blue flower to match the outside of my petals. So then I thought, wonder what it'd look like if I did it in a multicolor. So here's my third sample, and this is a multicolor, and I just used a brown, and then I used a bright white to kind of go with this off-white, and then I just added a white ribbon flower to the center of my flower to bring that color back out. But nice little design. Can you picture this in your mind if you're setting up at a craft show and you have these hanging there in all these bright, wonderful colors? It just really eye-popping, and it's just a nice little fast, wonderful design to add something a little different to your craft stand or for your own home. If you're like me, every time somebody calls and I have to write a message down, I'm running to the drawer looking for an ink pen, looking for something to write on. This is a great way to keep that ink pen and that notepad right handy where you know where it is. So I'll be right back and I'll tell you everything you need to make these cute little notepad holders. So let's go over what you need to get this project started. You're going to need 1 full skein of cotton yarn, and it should be at least 2.1 ounces, and that's enough to complete 1 notebook holder. That's the front and back granny square. And then depending on how you want to make your flower, if you make a 2-color flower, you're going to need 2 colors, a few yards of 2 colors from your scrap yarn pile. And if you decide to make it like this one where you use the same color, then you only need 1 color for the flower. You're also going to need a 1-inch ribbon flower. Now that's optional. I think it makes it look just a little bit nicer having that little matching flower in the center. You're going to need a 3x5 memo notebook, and I get these at Dollar General, and you can get 3 for $1. You're also going to need an ink pen. Now these Papermate pens you can get at Walmart, a whole pack of 10 for like $1 something. So if you're selling these at craft shows, that's what you want to do. You want to go get those packs of 10 for $1 something, so it doesn't cost very much. You're also going to need a 1-inch plastic ring for that top holder. And then you're going to need a yarn needle to weave in those ends. And you're going to need a crochet hook size H8 or 5mm. So I'll be right back and we'll get this project started. So to start our little project, we're going to start by making 2 granny squares. Now when I make a granny square, I do not chain 1 between my sets of 3 double crochet. So if you know how to do a granny square, you can go ahead and work ahead. We're going to make one that has 7 rounds. So if you start at the center and count up, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And mine measures 6 3/4 inches, so anywhere between 6 3/4 to 7 inches is about what you want to go for. So okay, I'm using Premier Home Cotton in the color yellow, and we need to make 2 squares. So I'm just going to set this aside And when you attach your yarn, whichever method you use, make sure this first loop that you attach to your hook is pretty loose, because we need to get quite a few stitches in this first loop. So we're going to start and we're going to chain 4. So yarn over the hook, pull it through that loop, that's 1. Over the hook, pull it through, that's 2. Yarn over the hook, pull it through, that's 3. Yarn over the hook, pull it through, that's 4. So now we're going to skip these 3 chain and we're going to work 2 double crochet into this 4th chain from hook. So yarn over the hook, insert it into that 4th chain, yarn over the hook, pull it through that chain. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over the hook, pull it through 2, yarn over the hook and pull it through 2 loops. You just made your first double crochet. We need to make 1 more double crochet in the same chain, yarn over the hook, insert it into that same chain and work a double crochet. So when you made your double crochet into that 4th chain from hook, the 3 chains that you skip form your first double crochet. So now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to work 3 more double crochet all into the same chain that you already worked in. That's why I said make sure that this first chain is really loose so you can get all these stitches in there. So yarn over the hook, insert it into that same chain and work 3 double crochet. There's 1, yarn over the hook, insert it into that same chain, work your 2nd double crochet, yarn over the hook, insert it into that same chain stitch and work your 3rd double crochet. We're going to chain 2 for our corner, 1, 2. We're going to come back and we're going to work 3 more double crochet all in that same chain. All of our stitches are worked in that same chain. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same chain and work your first double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert it into that same chain and work a 2nd double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert it into that same chain and work your 3rd double crochet. And you can see how we have 3 sides made of our center. We're going to chain 2 for the corner, 1, 2. We're going to turn our work and we're going to work 3 more double crochet. You can pull that apart and they're all going into that same chain, and this will get really tight. Yarn over the hook, insert it into that same chain and work your first double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert it into that same chain and make your 2nd double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert it into that same chain and work your 3rd and final double crochet of this round. And then we're going to chain 2 for our corner, 1, 2. And this is what your work should look like. You should have 4 sets of 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you should have 4 corner chain 2 spaces, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now we're just going to join our round, and you're going to join in the top of that beginning chain 3 space. So just count up. Now you might not see the first chain, it's down in here. So it's just the first chain on the right side of that beginning double crochet. So just count up to the top of that chain, insert it into the top chain and slip stitch. Yarn over the hook, pull it through that stitch and pull it through the loop on your hook. Round 1 is complete. So to start round 2, we're going to slip stitch across our stitches and come over into the chain 2 space, because that is where you need to be to start round 2. So we're just going to insert our hook into that next double crochet stitch. Yarn over the hook, pull it through that stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. Insert your hook into that next double crochet, yarn over the hook, pull it through that stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. Insert your hook into that corner chain 2 space, yarn over the hook, pull it back through that chain 2 space and through the loop on your hook. We're now in the position to start round 2. So round 2, we're going to chain 3, which will count as our first double crochet. We're going to work 2 more double crochet, chain 2, and 3 double crochet, all in this corner chain 2 space. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, yarn over the hook, insert it into the corner chain 2 space, and work your first double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert it into the same corner chain 2 space, and work a double crochet. We're going to chain 2 for the corner, 1, 2. We're going to go back into the same corner chain 2 space and work 3 double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert it into that corner chain 2 space, and work your first of 3 double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert it into that same corner chain 2 space, and work your second double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into the same corner chain 2 space, and work your third double crochet. So to finish round 2, we're going to skip the next 3 double crochet, and we're going to work 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet in each corner chain 2 space around. So let me show you one more time. Yarn over the hook, skip these 3 double crochet, insert into that corner chain 2 space, and work 3 double crochet. That's 1. Yarn over my hook, insert into that corner chain 2 space, and work my second double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same corner chain 2 space, and work my third double crochet. You're going to chain 2 for the corner. You're going to turn your work, and you're going to work 3 more double crochet, all in that same corner chain 2 space. So yarn over the hook, insert it into that same corner chain 2 space, and work your first of 3 double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same space, and work your second double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same corner chain 2 space, and work your third double crochet. So go ahead and repeat. You're going to skip 3 double crochet, you're going to work 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet in each of the remaining 2 corner chain 2 spaces, and I'll meet you at the end of round 2. I'm over at the end of round 2, and we're getting ready to slip stitch our work together. So you should have 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet in each of the corner chain 2 spaces. And I'm just going to slip stitch in the top of that beginning chain 3, insert your hook into the top of that chain 3, yarn over the hook, pull it through that stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. So to start round 3, we need to slip stitch over and into this chain 2 space. So insert your hook into that next double crochet, yarn over the hook, pull it through the stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over the hook, pull it through that stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. Insert into that corner chain 2 space, yarn over the hook, pull it through that corner chain 2 space, and through the loop on your hook. We're now in the corner, and we're ready to start round 3. So round 3 is the same. We're going to chain 3 for the first double crochet, work 2 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We need to work 2 more double crochet into the same corner chain 2 space, yarn over the hook, insert it into that corner chain 2 space, and work your first double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same corner chain 2 space, and work your second double crochet. Again, the chain 3 counts as your first, and then you have 2 more for a total of 3 double crochet. We're going to chain 2 for the corner. You're going to turn your work, and you're going to work 3 more double crochet into that same corner chain 2 space. Yarn over the hook, insert into the same corner chain 2 space, and work your first of 3 double crochet. That's 1. Yarn over the hook, insert it into that same corner chain 2 space, and work your second of 3 double crochet. That's 2. Yarn over the hook, insert it into that same corner chain 2 space, and work your third double crochet. Your corner is formed. Now we're going to skip the next 3 double crochet, and we're going to work 3 double crochet between the skip 3 double crochet and the next 3 double crochet group. So yarn over the hook, skip these 3 double crochet, insert between the skipped and the next 3, and work your first double crochet of 3. That's 1. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same space, and work your second double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same space, and work your third double crochet. So that's basically the end of the repeat. I'm going to show you one more time, and then you'll continue around. We're going to skip these next 3 double crochet, and we're over to the corner. So we're going to work 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, all in this corner chain 2 space. So yarn over the hook, skip these 3 double crochet, insert into the corner chain 2 space, and work your first double crochet of 3. That's 1. Yarn over the hook, insert it into that same space. That's 2. Yarn over the hook, insert it into the same corner chain 2 space, and work your third double crochet. We're going to chain 2 for the corner. We're going to turn our work, and we're going to work 3 more double crochet into this corner chain 2 space. So yarn over the hook, insert it into that corner chain 2 space, and work your first of 3 double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same corner chain 2 space, and work your second double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert it into that same corner space, and work your third double crochet. Your corner is formed. And again, this was the start of your repeat. The 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet in that corner chain 2 space. You're going to skip the next group of 3 double crochet, and you're going to work 3 double crochet between each group of 3 double crochet across. So yarn over the hook, skip that first group of 3 double crochet, insert your hook between the skip double crochet and the next group of 3 double crochet, and work your first double crochet. That's 1. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same space, and work your second double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same space, and work your third double crochet. And this is the end of your repeat. So go ahead and repeat 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet in your next corner chain 2 space. You're going to skip 3 double crochet and work 3 double crochet between the skipped 3 double crochet group and the next group of 3 double crochet here. And you'll just repeat that around the other 2 sides, and I'll meet you at the end of round 3. I'm over at the end of round 3, and we're going to join in the same manner. We're going to go up to the top of that beginning chain 3, insert your hook, and slip stitch round 3 together. Yarn over the hook, pull it through that stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. To start round 4, we're going to do the same thing as the last previous rounds. We're going to slip stitch across these, double crochet, and then we're going to slip stitch into that corner chain 2 space to get in the position of starting our next round. So insert your hook into that next double crochet stitch, yarn over the hook, pull it through the stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over the hook, pull it through the stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. Insert your hook into that corner chain 2 space, yarn over the hook, pull it through that chain 2 space and through the loop on your hook. We're now in the corner chain 2 space and we're ready to get started on round 4. Round 4 is exactly like round 3. I'm going to walk you through the one side and then you can continue around. So each time you do a granny square, you start the round the same way. You're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and this acts as your first double crochet. We need to work 2 more double crochet, a chain 2, and 3 double crochet all in this corner chain 2 space. So yarn over the hook, insert it into that chain 2 space, and work a double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into the corner chain 2 space, and work a double crochet. Your chain 3 counts as the first. You have 2 more, so that gives you your 3 that you need for your first half of your corner. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to turn our work and we're going to work 3 more double crochet into that corner chain 2 space. Yarn over the hook, insert it into that corner chain 2 space and work your first of 3 double crochet. That's 1. Yarn over the hook, insert it into that same corner chain 2 space and work a second double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same corner chain 2 space and work your third double crochet. Your corner is formed. Now we're going to work 3 double crochet between each group of 3 double crochet across. So yarn over the hook, skip that next group of 3 double crochet, insert your hook between the skip group and the next group of 3 double crochet and work 3 double crochet. There's 1. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same space and work your second double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert it into that same space and work your third double crochet. We're going to skip the next group of 3 double crochet and we're going to insert our hook between the skip group and the next group. So insert your hook between those groups and work your first of 3 double crochet. That's 1. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same space and work your second double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same space and work your third double crochet. And that's really all there is to a granny square. Once you make a couple, if you've never made one before, you can see how it just repeats itself. So you're going to start the repeat with 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet into your corner chain 2 space. So you're going to skip these 3 and go right into the next corner. You'll work your 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and then you're going to turn your work and you're going to work 3 double crochet between each group of 3 double crochet, and then you start all over again. You start with your corner, work across, work your corner. So go ahead and repeat around and I will meet you at the end of round 4. I'm over at the end of round 4 and this is what your work should look like. I'm just going to go ahead and join in the same manner that we did in the last 3 rounds. Go up to the top of your beginning chain 3, insert your hook, yarn over the hook, pull it through that stitch and pull it through the loop on your hook. So now to finish your block you need to make 3 more rounds. So just repeat round 4 until you have a total of 7 rounds. So go ahead and Repeat that, work until you have 7 rounds. Go ahead and join your work, and I will meet you at the end of round 7. I'm over at the end of round 7, and again, if you count from your center, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sure you have 7 rounds, and then we're just going to join by going into the top of that beginning chain 3, insert your hook into the top of that chain 3, yarn over the hook, pull it through that stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. And then you're just going to fasten off, and you need to make a total of 2 squares. So go ahead, make your second square, and I'll be right back and show you how to start putting this together. Okay, so we're going to get our granny squares ready to put together to form our notepad holder. So we're going to take one granny square, and with the right side facing, this is the right side, the back side looks like that, so make sure the right side's facing. We're going to take one corner, and you're going to count down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to fold it so these last 3 remaining groups of 3 double crochet are still there. So you're just going to fold this corner down to the center. So 4 of the 3 double crochet groups are folded under. And then I'm just going to take my crochet hook, and I'm going to take a piece of yarn, and I'm just going to go up underneath, and I'm just going to pull my thread through the center of that corner, and then I'm going to come up through again. I'm just tacking it down. So you just want it like that. You're just going to flip it over, and you're just going to tie it. Oops, I have nothing. Yeah, there we go. And you're just going to make a double knot, and I'll go back later and weave in my ends, but that secures it down. You just want to fold it down like so. And again, you should have 3 groups of double crochet on each side. So this is how it should look. This will be the top, this will be the bottom, and then this will be classified as the sides. So for this first square, we're finished. We're going to set this aside. So just move that aside. We're going to grab our second square, and our second square we're going to work, and we're going to work on the wrong side. So we're going to turn this square over. So you want this on the wrong side, because what we're going to do is we're going to put this one right side up. So when you make your note holder, the right sides are facing on the front, and the right side will be facing on the back. So let me get rid of that. I'm going to grab another little ring. I forgot it, so I'll be right back. So I have my second block here, and I'm getting ready, but before we do this, we need to grab our little ring, and we're going to crochet around this, and then we're going to place it up here at the corner and attach it, and then work around by adding our second square. So okay, first of all, I'll just leave this here so you can see the background. I'm just going to take my hook and place it inside the ring. I'm just going to leave about a 2-inch end, and I'm just going to pull the same color that I used for making my square through that ring. I'm going to chain 1, and we're going to work 13 single crochet around the ring. So bring your hook back and bring it from the front to the back around that hook, and you're going to work your stitches right around this end piece of yarn. Yarn over the hook, pull it back through the ring. You have 2 loops. Yarn over the hook, pull it through those 2 loops. You just made your first single crochet. So that's 1, and we need to do that 13 times. Insert your hook from front to back through that ring and work a single crochet. That's 2. Insert your hook from front to back through that ring and work a single crochet. That's 3. Continue around until you have a total of 13 single crochet, and I'll meet you there. I have my 13 single crochet worked around my little ring. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come up and you're going to go, you can go to any corner. I'm just going to take this and I'm going to take my ring and place it behind my work. So this part here, I'm just going to spread them apart just a little bit so you have a little opening to your ring. You're going to line that up with the chain 2 space of your corner. So your ring is actually down below the top of your work. So this is the top of your ring, and you're just going to bring it right and align it right up with that corner chain 2 space. Now we're going to bring our hook from front to back through the corner chain 2 space and then through the ring, and we're going to work 3 single crochet. Yarn over the hook, pull it through the ring and the corner chain 2 space and work a single crochet. Insert from front to back through that corner chain 2 space and then through that ring, yarn over the hook, bring it through both thicknesses and work a single crochet. Bring your hook back to the front, insert it into that corner chain 2 space and then through that ring, through both thicknesses, and work your 3rd single crochet. Then what we're going to do is you're going to ignore your ring and you're going to concentrate in your first double crochet of this 3 double crochet group. We're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 groups of 3 double crochet, which would be a total of 12 single crochet. So we're going to start, tighten up your tension, insert into that first double crochet and work a single crochet. That's 1. Insert into the next double crochet and work a single crochet. That's 2. Insert into the next double crochet, work a single crochet. That's 3. So go ahead and continue and work 1 single crochet in each of the next 9 double crochet, and I'll be right back and show you how to join your second square. I just finished my 12 single crochet. So once you did your 3 single crochet and attached that ring, you worked 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 double crochet groups, and you should have a total of 12 single crochet down your side. So now what we're going to do is we're going to join our second square. You're going to make sure this is the wrong side. You should be working your stitches on the wrong side. The right side of your work should be towards the other side. You want the wrong side facing of the first square, and then we're going to take the right side facing of our second square. So the second square, you want to place it right on top of the first square. We're going to have wrong sides together. Our right sides will be out. So we want the point that we folded down. Let me turn it this way. So our ring is at the top, and you want it to match up with the point where we folded down. So lay your square with your point folded down matching the ring. You're going to match up your corners. You work down 4 groups of 3, and you should have 3 groups of 3 double crochet remaining. So we're just going to match these up, tighten up that thread. You're going to come in through that first double crochet on the top square, insert your hook, and go under both strands so this is really secured when we put it together. You're going to match it up with the first double crochet on the back square in that 3rd group from the corner. So go up, match it up with that first double crochet, go under both loops, and we're working through both thicknesses. Yarn over the hook, pull it through those 2 stitches, through both thicknesses, and work a single crochet. Insert your hook into the next stitch, going under both strands, match it up to the stitch behind in that middle stitch, yarn over the hook, pull it through both thicknesses, and work your single crochet. Insert your hook into the next double crochet, match it up to the double crochet behind, yarn over the hook, pull it through both stitches, through both thicknesses, and work your single crochet. So go ahead and repeat that. You're going to work 1 single crochet through both thicknesses in each of the next 6 double crochet, and I'll meet you at the corner. I'm over to the corner chain 2 space. So this is going to be the start of the repeat, and we're going to repeat this twice. You're going to insert your hook into the corner chain 2 space, and you're going through both thicknesses, matching up through both corner chain 2 spaces, and we're going to work 3 single crochet. There's 1, insert into that same chain 2 space, going through both thicknesses, and work that second single crochet. Insert your hook into that same corner chain 2 space and work a 3rd single crochet. That's the start of the repeat. Now we're going to do the same thing. You're going to work 1 single crochet in each double crochet across, and you're going to match the stitches. You're going through the first thickness, you're going to find that first double crochet, you're going to go under both strands of that top of that stitch. You're going to find the matching stitch, which here's your 3 stitches. You find the first one, you go under both strands, and you work your single crochet through both thicknesses. You're going to find your next stitch, go under both strands at the top of that stitch. You're going to match it up with the center stitch in the back, go under both strands, and work your single crochet. And you'll just continue across to the next corner. So again, you're going to work 3 single crochet in the corner chain 2 space, and then 1 single crochet in each double crochet across to the next corner, and you're working through both thicknesses. So do that across this second side. You're going to come to the corner, you're going to work your 3 single crochet in that corner chain 2 space, and then you're going to work 1 single crochet in each double crochet across to our next corner, and you'll be working through both thicknesses. So go ahead, crochet around those 2 sides, and I will meet you here at this side corner. I just worked around 3 sides, and we should be over at our side corner chain 2 space. So we're going to go ahead and work 3 single crochet through both thicknesses, matching up those chain 2 spaces. So go ahead and work 3 single crochet. There's 1, 2, 3 single crochet into that corner chain 2 space. So now when we're coming up our side, we want to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 9 double crochet, and we're going to match them up with the 9 double crochet on the back. So we're only going to work through 9 double crochet, and we're working through both thicknesses. So find that first double crochet in that first double crochet group, go under the top 2 loops, find that first double crochet into the back group of 3 double crochet, matching the stitches, and work your single crochet. Find your next stitch, go through the first stitch, go into the same stitch in the back, that center stitch, and work your next single crochet. Go ahead and work 1 single crochet in each of the next 7 double crochet, and I'll meet you when you're finished. I just finished my stitches, so you should have 3 single crochet in the corner, and then you should have worked 1 single crochet in each of the next 9 double crochet, those 3 double crochet groups. So now we're going to switch and we're going to be working through one thickness only, and we're going to work one single crochet in each double crochet in the next 3 double crochet groups, which is a total of 12 single crochet. So again, you're going to work one single crochet in each one of the next 12 double crochet, and you're working in that back square only through one thickness. So insert your hook into the first double crochet of that first double crochet group in the back. Just ignore this top square, go in that first double crochet and work a single crochet. That's one. Insert into the next double crochet, work a single crochet, that's 2, and continue working one single crochet in each double crochet until you get to the corner, and I'll meet you there. I worked my single crochet in each double crochet across to the corner, chain 2 space. So if you move the ring, we're back to the corner, chain 2 space. So what you're going to do now is you're going to look for that first single crochet that you made in the corner, chain 2 space. So if you start over here, you can see that was 1, 2, 3. So this would have been your first single crochet. So just look in that corner, chain 2 space, find that thread. If you just look for that first thread going down, you'll know, follow it up, and that was the first single crochet that you made in that corner, chain 2 space. So we're going to insert our hook into that single crochet. Let me find my yarn. Where'd it go? Just going to tighten up my tension, and we're going to slip stitch that together. Yarn over the hook, pull it through that single crochet, and pull it through the loop on your hook. And then you're going to fasten off. So I'm going to go ahead and fasten off, and then I'll be back and we'll get our flower started for the center of this top. To start the flower, I'm using the same color as my granny squares. So I already tied my yarn around my hook, and we're going to start with a chain 4. Yarn over the hook, pull it through the loop, that's your first chain. Yarn over the hook, pull it through the loop, that's 2. Yarn over the hook, pull it through the loop, that's 3. Yarn over the hook, pull it through the loop, that's 4. We're going to skip the first 3 chain. We're going to slip stitch into that 4th chain and make a ring. Yarn over the hook, pull it through that chain, and pull it through the loop on your hook. So now we have a small ring. So you're just going to have to make sure you kind of pull that apart and get it right in the center of that ring when you make your first stitch. We're going to start with the chain 1. We're going to single crochet into the center of our ring, insert your hook into the center of that ring, yarn over your hook, pull it back through that ring. You have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over the hook, pull it through 2 loops. You just made your first single crochet. You're going to chain 2. 1, 2. That was the beginning of our repeat. You're going to insert your hook from front to back through the center of that ring, yarn over the hook, pull it back through the ring, yarn over the hook, and pull it through 2 loops. You just made a single crochet. You're going to chain 2. 1, 2. You need to do this a total of 7 times. We did it twice already, so go ahead and repeat that 5 more times. You're going to single crochet into the center of the ring and chain 2 5 more times, and I'll meet you at the end of round 1. So I'm over at the end of round 1, and you might have to just pull it apart. You should have 7 single crochet. Here's your first, and here's your first chain 2 space. So just pull it apart and make sure you have 7, because they are going to be really tight. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you end with a single crochet, chain 2 is 7. Now we're just going to slip stitches together into the top of that beginning single crochet, which is here. Insert your hook into the top of that beginning single crochet. You're going to go under both strands, yarn over the hook, pull it through that stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. You just slip stitched your round one together. So now for round two, we're going to be working in the chain two spaces only. So insert your hook into that first chain two space, yarn over the hook, pull it through the chain two space, and pull it through the loop on your hook. We're going to be making a 5 double crochet popcorn stitch in each one of the chain two spaces around. So the first popcorn will be made differently because we need to chain 3 for that first stitch. So let's chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, yarn over the hook, insert it into that same chain 2 space, and we're going to work 4 double crochet. There's 1, yarn over the hook, insert into that same space, and work your second double crochet, yarn over the hook, insert into that same space, and work your third double crochet, yarn over the hook, insert into that same space, and work your fourth double crochet. Now each double crochet has a total of 5 double crochet, and again your first popcorn, that chain 3 counts as your first double crochet. You're going to pull up a loop, take your hook out, you're going to come over to the top of that beginning chain 3, you're going to insert your hook into that top of that chain 3, and then you're going to come from to the back of your stitches, grab that loop, and then tighten your yarn, and then you're just going to bring that loop and pull it right through that first stitch. We're going to chain 2. And we're going to repeat that in each chain 2 space around. So I'll show you one more time. We're going to work 5 double crochet popcorn in this next stitch. So it'll be 1 popcorn stitch, but there'll be 5 double crochet stitches, which makes up that 1 popcorn stitch. So yarn over the hook, insert it into that next chain 2 space, and work your first double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same chain 2 space, and work your second double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same chain 2 space, and work your third double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert it into that same chain 2 space, and work your fourth double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same space, and work your fifth double crochet. You're going to pull up a loop. You're going to come over and insert from front to back into that first double crochet stitch you made. Come behind the stitches, grab that loop, tighten up your yarn, bring that loop back behind the stitches and through that first stitch. You're going to chain 2. And that will be your repeat. Go ahead and repeat that in each chain 2 space around, and I will meet you at the end of round 2. I'm over at the end of round 2, and this is what your work should look like. You should have a total of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 popcorn stitches, and you should have a chain 2 space between each popcorn. You end with a chain 2, and what we're going to do is we're going to go right up into the top of this beginning popcorn stitch here. You'll see kind of like a little loop going around the top. We're just going to go right down into the top of that stitch and out through the back. And we're just going to slip stitch that together. Yarn over the hook, pull it through that stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. Now with this yarn, it tends to split, so you got to make sure you go through the yarn. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fasten that off. And then I'm getting ready to join my new color. So I chain 2 and then I pull it down. You can fasten off however way you wish. That's how I do it. Everybody has their own way of doing things. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start the petals. Now I'm using Ocean Splash. This is by Premier, and I'm going to make blue petals. So I just take this snibbling here that I cut off. I think I'm going to cut that a little shorter. And I'll just work my new color right over top of it. So I'll just lay these two together. We're going to go into the chain 2 space right on the left side of that ending stitch. Insert your hook. Just pull that new color through only, just that new color, and we're going to chain 1. We're going to insert from front to back through that same chain 2 space, and we're going to work a single crochet. Now we're going to work a double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert it from front to back through that same chain 2 space, and work a double crochet. Now we're going to pull these stitches over and we're going to work 3 triple crochet. Yarn over the hook twice, insert into that same chain 2 space, and I'm working over my ends, and we're going to work 3 triple crochet. There's 1. Yarn over the hook twice, insert back into that same space, and work your second triple crochet. Yarn over the hook twice, insert into that same space, and work your third triple crochet. You have to keep pulling those stitches over to make room for all your stitches. We're going to work a double crochet next. Yarn over the hook, insert it into that same space, and work a double crochet. Pull that stitch over, and we're going to end with a single crochet into that same chain 2 space. Insert from front to back and work a single crochet. And that's all we're going to do in each chain 2 space around. It forms your petal. So I'll show you one more time. Insert your hook into the next chain 2 space and work a single crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same chain 2 space, and work a double crochet. Yarn over the hook twice, insert from front to back in that same chain 2 space, and we're going to work 3 triple crochet. That's 1. Yarn over the hook twice, insert from front to back through that same chain 2 space, and work your second triple crochet. That's 2. Yarn over the hook twice, insert into that same chain 2 space, and work a third triple crochet. You're going to grab those stitches, pull them over, yarn over the hook once, insert from front to back in that same chain 2 space, and work a double crochet. Insert your hook from front to back and work a single crochet in that same chain 2 space. And that is the repeat. So go ahead and work 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 3 triple crochet, 1 double crochet, and 1 single crochet in each chain 2 space around. You should have a total of 7 petals, and I will meet you at the end of round 3. I'm over at the end of round 3, and this is what your work should look like. You should have 7 blue petals. So what we're going to do is we're just going to come over and slip stitch to the beginning single crochet, which is right here. Just insert under those 2 loops, yarn over the hook, pull it through that first stitch, and pull it through the loop on the hook. So when you fasten off, kind of leave a long sewing length. I'm just going to fasten mine off. I'm going to pull that down, and then you just take your square. Oh, let me zoom out a little. We're going to take our square. Here's your ring on top. Here's your point. We're just going to sew this flower right to our front only. Make sure you don't go through that back square, because then you won't be able to get your little notepad in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sew my flower on, and then I also found these really cute little ribbon flowers, and I'm just going to attach. You can just use a little dab of glue or just sew that right through the bottom of the flower just to bring that blue to the center. I just sewed my flower on, and then I attached this little ribbon flower in the center, but what I found out was I bought these big tablets and they had a magnet on the back, and they were really too heavy. When I inserted them, it looks nice until you try to hang it. Let me zoom back. And then it kind of like fell and gaped open. So the longer notepads are too heavy. So what I did, I purchased these little 3 by 5 inch memo books, and these you get 3 for $1 at Dollar General. So compare the size. This is a nicer size. I just slipped this in here. And what I did was, because this is kind of short, I wanted it to stick up so they knew there was a notepad in there. So I just put 1 tack stitch right here where I wanted the bottom of my notepad to be. So I just tacked it right there, and then I weave my ends in on the inside. And then I'm going to show you if yours gaps open, which it will. If it's, don't use one of these. They're just way too big and heavy. It will make the front of your, like I said, it'll just gape open. You don't want that. So what you do is put your notebook in, and then just tack stitch right beside it. Just leave enough room for your ink pen. Put your ink pen in there, and then you're just going to tack it. Just tack it so it's nice and snug, and then what happens is when you pick it up, it won't gap open. So I'm going to go ahead and take my pen out and just show you what I mean. Because when you're selling these at a craft show, you really want them to be perfect. You do not want somebody to get one and then it gapes open and then it hangs like this. You don't want that. So I already put a tack stitch over here. You can kind of see how it dips in. So I'm going to put my notebook in there. I'm going to leave just enough room for my ink pen, and then I'm going to come over here. So what you want to do is just go from the inside of this top piece. Let me see if I can do it without my fingers being in the way. So just come in on the inside of your work. Come up through these stitches here. Make sure you go through a nice little chunk. Don't go through just one strand because it won't hold good enough. So just pull that out, and I'm going to leave a long length. And then I'm just going to move this aside, and then you're going to take it and you're going to go through the back. But what you want to do is you're going to go in through here, and you want to take it around the whole post. You want to take it around this whole post. So then you're coming right back up through, whoops, down here, and then you're going to come back up through where you went down through in the front. You're going to pull that snug. I just double tie a knot. And then I just take the end of my thread, I take it down on the inside of my work and I just weave that in on the other side underneath those stitches. Hopefully you can see this. I just pull it out anywhere. Just pull it taut and then clip that thread. And then you just do the same for the other side. And then you are ready to go. I have my tablet in. I inserted my ink pen. And let me zoom out. And then when you have it on display, if you have them hanging, see how it does not gap open. It's just enough that'll hang nicely. And that's your notepad. Our little notepad holder is finished. I want to thank everyone for stopping by my channel and crocheting along with me today. I try to come up with stuff that's just a little bit different that you can have some fun with if you're going to those craft shows, or these are excellent for your own home. If you're like me and you lose those pens and papers, just excellent to have hanging around by the phone. Make them in whatever color suits your decor. Wonderful, wonderful pattern. Now this pattern is number 530. It's called the Granny Square Notepad Holder, and this pattern, the link for this pattern will be in my description box. So let me just show them to you again. Here's the yellow, my favorite, the pink and purple, because I just love pink and purple together, and this is the 2-color flower. And then last but not least, I have kind of like the camouflage forestry type little multicolor notebook pad holder. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for stopping by. I had a lot of fun, and as always, happy crocheting, everyone.